Hi, my name is Mario and today I'd like to talk about big data. There is a lot of misconceptions right now about big data. If you do a search on big data on Google, you are going to probably find around 60 million definitions. And various people, depending on their background, see big data in different ways. First, I'd like to clear one thing. Big data is not about just the size. There is a lot more to big data that doesn't meet the eye easily. The definition that I personally use is that we are in a big data situation when we cannot get the information on time that would allow us to make a business decision. Now, the three main characteristics of big data are volume, velocity, and variety. Volume relates to how much data we need to process. And by the way, when we talk about volume, just keep in mind what you have in your pocket. Your mobile phones probably have 64 gigabytes of data, 96 gigabytes of data, something like that. This is not a big data. Essentially, if it fits in your pocket, it's not big data. Velocity relates to how quickly data is being created. Think about ATMs or other online transactions. We have a lot of transactions going through every second. We have a lot of ATMs in the world, probably over 100 million ones that need to be processed if we need to find something in those transactions. And the last one is variety. It was really easy 10 or 15 years ago. We just had a couple of databases which had a bit of data and that was it. Now we need to deal with photos on Instagram, we need to deal with Facebook posts, we need to deal with a number of other sources of information. So the variety of data that we need to process is really important. But how can you visualize big data? Okay, so big data is a concept that a lot of people are talking about. Big data is about individualized solutions. And think about Uber. When you're sitting in front of your house waiting for your Uber driver to come to you, you can see their route on your phone. The only route that you see is the one that relates to your driver. At this very moment, there is probably another 10,000 people in the world waiting for their drivers, but they see only their drivers' routes. So this is what big data is all about. Uber as a company takes a lot of inputs and gives you something that relates only to you and nobody else. And by the way, it gives it to you on time, simply because you don't care about this information once the car has arrived. You know where the driver is. He's next to you. So, this is what one example of big data is. But how do you use it in an organization? How can organizations benefit from it? Well, one example is healthcare. Actually, using big data, hospitals and physicians can create individualized plans for every patient. Let's say that we have to give a certain patient 1 tablet a day of a drug. But does it mean that actually giving everyone with a similar disease 1 tablet a day is the best way to go about it? We need to take into account differences like sex, weight, age, and so on. So maybe some patients will need 1 tablet and some patients will need half a tablet. In this case, the treatment would be much more effective. Another example is marketing. We are all sick of those emails that we get giving us information about goods that we don't care about and which have been probably sent to 100,000 people. But what about actually customizing each email? Each email can be fully customized based on the picture that the company has about us, and it will talk to us. The probability of us buying something is much, much higher. So these are just 2 examples of where big data can be used. And of course, we should not forget artificial intelligence. One of the big uses for big data is actually to enable artificial intelligence and to feed the necessary data into it. This has been all big data from me. Thank you very much for